Once upon a time, a girl named Milena. Milena was always an ambitious child. And how not to be it? She always had what she wanted. She always was the best in everything she did. I suspect she didn't have many friends because she was bossy and egocentric. In her room, she had many awards that remind her that she's the best. She never doubted herself. Every competition won, every prize in her room, every congratulation she received did nothing but feed her ego, which in itself was already big. She was the only daughter of her parents, and they adored her like no other. In her family, she was the first girl to be born, so everyone had a special affection for her. One day, since she woke up, she knew that it wouldn't be one of the best days of her life, because the night before she had forgotten to activate her alarm and woke up late. Just that day she had a competition. That day she went to the competition confident that she would win, thinking about being in the first place. However, things did not happen that way. She did not win the first place, and that filled her with anger. She came home angry with everyone. She did not eat her lunch and went straight to her room. Her mother arrived, worried with her, and she explains her that it is okay not to always be the first place. Milena has a hard time understanding that, but in the end, she achieves it.
There was a magical book that made hundreds of children happy, especially a girl named Diana. Every afternoon she read a different history after breakfast, but one day the magical book that had no end disappeared. She looked for it all over the house but did not appear. Suddenly, one day the book appeared in the room, but it was no longer the same. It began to move and evil creatures came after the book that wanted her to damage. So she began to break it and destroy it little by little.
Reading was always Anai's favorite pastime. What she loved most in the world were her books. She was a tender and friendly child, a little shy but very loving. She had friends but very few. That was because she preferred to stay at home reading than go out with her friends. But as she was going to despise her beloved books that took her to wonderful places with beautiful stories, protagonists she loved, places she would only see in her dreams, and endless opportunities to imagine. Every time Anai opened a book, she met new things, new places, new people. With only a few chapters, she felt like new. One day, while she was reading at night, after a very tiring day, she wished to wear one of her favorite book's protagonists. Suddenly, from her favorite book began to come out scenarios and people. Everything around her changed. She could not believe it.
Michelle was always a very scary child. She had all kinds of fears and phobias from hate and darkness. She did not use a bicycle for fear of falling, and she did not run for fear of overflowing. Every single thing she did with fear since she gets up in the mornings. She is afraid that it will be a bad day. But one day, her fears got tired and they decided to face her. As there were so many joined and became a gelatinous black giant who only wanted to face her. To escape from that terrible situation, Michelle had to face each and every one of her fears. It was one of the most fearful days for her, but luckily she succeeds. She discovered courage, and now she knows that being brave does not mean not having fears, but knowing how to face them.
One morning, Laura was left alone at home, playing in her sister Raquel's room with her dolls and teddy bears. Suddenly, the birds began to walk and speak French. Her sister had gone to buy chicken for lunch at the supermarket. After about 5 minutes, she arrived home, and Laura ran to hug her, very scared by the French birds who offered her to go on a trip to Paris.